Hello, everybody. Are you ready for the zombie apocalypse? Because I know I am. I got a Warhammer. So I'm gonna talk about a Warhammer today that I worked on. Also Mjolnir, but I lost the footage because of technical difficulties. But Warhammers. I love Skyrim. As you've seen, I've played Skyrim before. I gotta get back to the gameplay, but right now a lot of people are loving my mini painting and diorama stuff, so I'm working on that as well. But Skyrim has great Warhammers. The first character I ever made in Skyrim was a strong orc that I loved playing with the Warhammer, a heavy weapon, heavy armor. And so I was like, I want a Warhammer, right? So I looked into a bunch of designs in Skyrim. Skyrim has really cool designs. Here's some designs. There's like the ebony hammers, there's the orc, the dwemer, the elven, some cool examples of war hammers. And I also was watching recently, I was watching The House of the Dragon, and I remembered that Robert Baratheon was a Warhammer kind of dude. And as you can see, Robert Baratheon fought one of the dragons, not like the actual dragon, the one of the Targaryens, and he bashed someone's head in with a warhammer, and that was fascinating. So I wanted to look at the designs of these warhammers, and I wanted to create my own, and of course not copy something from a movie or a game. So I made my first design. It was a bit too round for me, so I had to change it a little bit, and then this is what I stumbled upon, or I drew, and it has this geometrical two sides on it, and then a middle piece that is more circular, just for design aesthetics. And yeah, I really liked what that looked like, and so I put it on a lathe. I used walnuts, the two walnut sides, and then a middle orange kind of wood, and I think this is a blood wood. Here's how I found out it could be that. Now I'm not sure, maybe people can tell me what it is. It's a walnut brown, but it's got a little bit of reddish brown in it, but I don't know, I'm not sure what it is. It's not orange enough to be Paduk, but it's not brown enough to be walnut, so I'm not sure what that is, but I think it might be bloodwood. Anyway, moving on, I put the piece on the lathe, and I spun it. I knew I wanted a certain size for the two ends and the circular middle, so I didn't touch the two ends that much. I did give a really nice circular, cylindrical pattern to the middle, and then I also engraved a little bit of lines, divots into that for the design aesthetic again. If you don't know what a lathe is, it's something that spins really fast, and you put a piece of wood, center it, and put it into the lathe, and it spins it for you. And there's a blade that you use to basically go against the spinning motion. So if the log is spinning this way, your blade would be down here, and it would take chunks off of it. Very small chunks, of course, and it would take chunks off, and you can like shape it in a way. It almost feels like pottery, only much more louder, and sometimes scary if if you haven't done all the procedures properly, haven't put the piece of wood into the lathe properly. But it is fun once you get to know the lathe, once you're comfortable with it. And so yeah, so that was something that I did on the lathe. And then here's the end piece that I got. It was a good size, I feel like. I haven't checked what size it is. It might be about 8 inches, maybe 8 inches long, 10 inches long. But I was happy with the size. And then came the handle. Now, a lot of Warhammers have wooden handles, and so, of course, I have a wooden head, so why not get a wooden handle? And I couldn't find, in the wood shop, I couldn't find a handle that was long enough. So I bought a piece of 2x2 off of Lowe's. So here's a picture, it's a 2x2, it's I think 8 feet long, but I cut it down to 5 feet, 5.5 feet, something like that. And I basically had a circle on, so like made it cylindrical on the top, and I just drilled a hole into the hammer and just stuck them in. And I called that good for a while. And then I started looking at more Warhammer images, and they have these things called butts. So here's some images that show what the Warhammer butts are. And so I was like, I need a butt. So I made, so here's an example of what I had. This is what I had, and I had a piece that was 4 times this size, and I made it into a circle, right? I made it into globe, not a circle, a globe, and I just put it onto the back side, and I like it. I liked how it looked like. A lot of people have, these spikes at the end, or things like that. I just did not want that to be around me. Because I didn't want to get hurt from the spike whenever I'm walking around, because they're just sitting in the corner of my room. But so yeah, that's the butt of the hammer. For the handle, I did some burning on the handle, because the handle seemed kind of flimsy, because this is a piece of wood that I brought from Lowe's, and it could break anytime. So I burned it a little bit for aesthetics, of course, and to increase the strength of it. And it turns out it's very, very good. It's really good. And I called that good. And I loved it so much, so I made a TikTok. And here's that.
Warhammer.
Yeah. I saw. What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next?
So yeah, I made a TikTok. A lot of people liked it. Actually, if you guys don't know, Tolman, he's a nerd gym enthusiast. He loves giving people gym advice on how to get yourself in the gym, how to be motivated, how to not be scared of working out. Also, at the same time, he teaches people how to work out for fun, which is really great. For example, he has this whole series on Lord of the Rings workouts, where basically he shows how a dwarf would work out, like how like a ranger would work out. And he's got really cool, he's got this really high energy, and he loves hammers. And he was like, hammer on my video, and it was a happy moment for me. So yeah, Tolman also has a YouTube channel, so I will link him in the bio. I'll also put his stuff around here. But yeah, go check him out. He's really good. He helps me out a lot with my inspiration for working out, so yeah, go check him out. He's a cool guy. But anyway, back to the hammer. The hammer for me is always a work in progress. I'm going to keep working on this. And so here's a future project that I'm working on. I'm trying to bring in runes and aesthetics from our world, and runes, or the aesthetic of the Baratheon house, into one thing. And so I'm trying to make this hammer into like beautiful head and all that, because Although I would love a zombie apocalypse to happen and to use this hammer in a scenario, that would be bad for everybody. And so, anyway, this is gonna be a showpiece. Of course, I'm not gonna use it ever, I don't think. But yeah, that's the hammer. And I also made Mjolnir, as you can see in the thumbnail. I just saw the God of War game, and I wanted to make Mjolnir, and so I made it out of, I used the same kind of techniques to make Mjolnir, and you can see some videos here of them of Mjolnir. So I have two hammers now. There's one that I can throw, and then it's like a ranged weapon for me, and then there's one that's a double-handed weapon. And I am so proud of these two hammers, and yeah, I just wanted to show you guys, how I made it and stuff, and maybe get you guys into, woodworking, because it's a lot of fun. But yeah, that's gonna be the video, and I'm gonna play sort of a, aesthetically pleasing film here for my two hammers. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.